Hello there, I'm the CCG Collector, and we are going to do something new and exciting today. That's right, we are going to play the Middle-earth CCG. Now this isn't a game that you can play by yourself, or is it? Well, as it turns out, Iron Crown Enterprises, the people who created this game, went pretty all in on the game, and they produced a number of additional books to go along with it, and in those books they outline some solo scenarios that you can do. This one is called Burglar Wants a Good Job and comes from the book The Wizard's Casual Companion. I'm not going to go through all the nuances of it right now, and I'm certainly not going to go over how to play the game. Hopefully you'll get kind of an idea of it as I go along. And for those of you watching who already know how the game works, I will just outline a couple of the differences. Now, in a solo scenario, you do not have a shared resource and hazard deck. Rather, you have a hazard deck and you have a resource deck, and they are separated and played from a little bit differently than in a normal game. You are, in effect, playing against yourself. Now, to make up for that, rather than the usual 8-card hand that you would have in a multiplayer experience, I only have a 5-card hand here. That's probably good enough for the hazards. And we'll shuffle the resources. And there are a couple of other rules as well. Now, since we're not playing against anyone, there is actually an objective, or objectives I need to complete here. It's not just getting marshalling points. Oh no. So this scenario is inspired by The Hobbit, and the idea that you can just have a quest that you need a burglar for, and hire him, and he will do burglar things for you. Now, in this case, the burglar kind of needs to prove his worth. So rather than being a wizard that goes around collecting people and factions and items and all that, you are a scout of some sort. I don't know if it has to be a hobbit, I don't recall, but the sample deck recommended Robin Smallborough, who is a scout hobbit. And he starts off with one minor item. In this case, I'm using Elven Cloak, which allows me to tap this to cancel a strike against the bearer as long as that strike is keyed to a wilderness. So, I am trying to, as Robin Smallborough, go across Middle-earth and steal an item from an Orcish stronghold, steal an item from a dragon horde, rescue prisoners that I might find, and also spy and get some information on local factions that my potential employers might be interested in. So the way that this is done, there's a card from, I believe, the Dragons expansion called Burglary. And it says, tap a character to make a burglary attempt at a site in lieu of facing its automatic attacks. Tap the site and make a roll, modified by +2 if the character is a scout, and by +3 if he is a hobbit. So I assume that means this fellow gets +5 for being a scout hobbit. If the result is greater than 10, any item normally playable at the site may be played with the character. If the attempt fails, the character must face all automatic attacks alone. So yeah, that is a little bit of risky business, but it might let you grab an item from a dragon without having to face a massive attack. So I'm just going to keep that off to the side for the time being. Part of the special rules for this scenario is that you can play it as many times as you like, whenever you like. The other bit is that when gathering, a couple of them are fairly straightforward, the objectives. Steal an item from an Orcish stronghold means you need to successfully do burglary at a site with an orc automatic attack, like that one. Steal it from a dragon horde means do it from a site with a dragon automatic attack. A major item, I believe, major or greater. Finding information about potential factions in the area. That is done by playing a faction, and then rather than adding it directly to your marshalling points pile, you keep it with the character and have to return it to a haven and store it. And then that's treated as though you have found information about that. Now, and rescue prisoners is done through normal use of the, where is it? Rescue prisoners card, which I will explain if I ever get that. I don't use that one super often when I played this in the past. Now then, the way that you can get these factions, you also have potential assistants. There are 3 of them in the deck: Gandalf, and Bjorn, and Thranduil. And the way that those work is that normally Robin Smallborough is operating all on his own as a company of size 1. But you can bring these characters into play, and they will be in play for 2 turns. And during those 2 turns, they can take all the actions any other characters would do, and they are acting on behalf of your burglar. Once they leave at the end of the second turn, any items or factions or whatever they have on them get transferred immediately to the burglar. Alright, let's see, what else? Oh yes, you don't get marshalling points in the usual way in this scenario. You only get marshalling points for items if you have stolen them using burglary and you store them at a haven. So you can't just be using them, you have to store them. You only get marshalling points from defeating creatures if you defeat them using special dodging, hiding, stealthy kind of abilities like concealment. Tap a scout to cancel 1 attack against his company. Torque of Hues, tap it in its bear to cancel an attack. Elven Cloak, of course. There are a couple of other ones in here. Halfling Stealth, cancel 1 strike against the Hobbit, and so on. So you only get marshalling points from creatures if you are sneaky about it. If one of your helpers kills a creature, it does not count for marshalling points. And then at the end of the game, you are scored based on how many tasks you completed. If you have, let's see, 1 task completed, let's see if I can find this. If the burglar has completed 2 of the tasks successfully, remember there are 4, steal from orcs, steal from dragons, rescue prisoners, gather information. If you've completed 2 tasks successfully and have accumulated at least 10 marshalling points, he is hired to accompany the employers on a deed of minor import. 14 marshalling points and 3 tasks, he's hired to accompany the employers on a matter of some urgency. And if you've completed 3 tasks and accumulated 18 marshalling points, you are to accompany the employers on a grand and perilous adventure. And then you lose if the burglar dies or succumbs to corruption, obviously. I think that's all we really need to know. Sites will go up here. This, I'll give it a few more shuffles because we were kind of looking at it. Hazards are up there. So how this works is that there's a hazard hand. You draw hazards as per the numbers on the sites, as you normally would. Again, I'm assuming some familiarity with the rules. If you do not have that familiarity, I am sorry. Hopefully you'll have it soon. Or you'll pick it up as we go along. But then hazards form a hazard hand up at the top, and then you flip them over one by one, and as soon as a hazard is playable, you play it up to the hazard limit, which in most cases is going to be 2, because that's the minimum. It's normally 1 per character. Hobbits count as a half, but you round up. So it would be 1 for this guy, but the minimum you can have against the company is 2, so he's going to get 2 attacks against him, 2 hazards all the time. All right, sorry for that long introduction. Hopefully I put a link in the video that you can, in the description, that you can get right here. If you know all of this stuff, we will start Robin Smallborough at Bag End. Sorry for the glare there, but you will have to trust me with some of that. There we go. We will get his little marker in the Shire for obvious reasons. We'll draw a hand of 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we will get going. So there is an untap phase. Don't need to untap. Organization phase. Okay, so we have Bjorn. I don't want to play him yet because he's only going to be around for 2 turns. Another rule: any long events are also in play for 2 turns rather than just 1. All right, so I don't want to play him just yet. Fast Asleep will be nice if I can do a burglary attempt, but I don't have anything to burgle. Oh, that is not a great start to the game. Well, I'll tell you what. We are going to go to Moria, because that served me well in the past, and hopefully I can draw something to play there. If not, I'll just continue on to Lorien, I suppose. So Moria. We are going to draw our 2 cards based on the white number there. Thranduil, great. And Magic Ring of Stealth. Absolutely wonderful. So nothing I can actually play here. And Rescue Prisoners only works if I've already searched the site. It has to be a tapped Darkhold or Shadowhold. So I guess I'm not going to enter the site here. That's not a good start. Then there are 3 cards that are drawn and added to the hazard hand. So 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, okay, we'll start playing hazards. Now the sight path from Bag End to Moria is not obvious on the card because the sight paths on the sites, of course, assume you're going from a haven. But I'm going to say I go through, I think Cardolin's adjacent, so Cardolin to Holland to Redhorn Gate. So we've got a freehold, is that what it is? The White Tower, and 3 trees. 1, 2, 3, yep. And then a Darkhold, I think, or Shadowhold, or something like that. So let's see what our first thing is. Orc Raiders. Now they are going to have to key to the forest. Because if you look at here, they cannot key to a border hold. So that's a freehold. They cannot key to a border hold because we don't have one in our site path. They cannot key to a ruins and lairs because the site is not ruins and lairs, which means they have to key to the forest. Well, fortunately, Robin has an Elven Cloak. Tap it to cancel 1 strike against the bear. The strike must be keyed to a wilderness, which it is. So you'll notice that this card, I guess I'm going to explain the rules a little bit, has 4 strikes here. That would normally mean that they can attack up to 4 different characters. However, if each character can only receive 1 strike, and if they're leftover strikes, they apply as -1 modifiers to the character's prowess, which is kind of their strength or their attack power. So he's only going to receive the 1 strike. He would be at -2 prowess because of the extra -3, but I'm going to go ahead and tap the Elven Cloak, cancel that, because I used a stealthy method of avoiding the attack that does count toward my marshalling points. So I'm just going to put that face up underneath the deck. Hazard limit is 2 though, so we will flip over the next one. Orc Warriors. Okay, same deal. 3 strikes with 7 prowess. They can go to the same places. I can no longer tap my Elven Cloak though. So how can I get away from here? Well, we will use Halfling Stealth. Hobbit only, cancel 1 strike against the Hobbit. Boom. There we go. Strike is canceled. I get the marshalling points because I avoided it stealthily. And we arrive at Moria. Now, the end of the hazard phase, and do need to discard down to 5 cards. Oh, gosh. I guess I'll get rid of Fast Asleep. I've wanted to use Secret Passage, but I never have. We'll get rid of Fast Asleep. We're down to 5 cards there. And here we are at Moria. Now, I will not enter the site because I have nothing I can play here. Magic Ring of Stealth only happens after you test the ring. You can't just play it. Rescue Prisoners requires the site to be tapped. So that is that. Bag End's going to go back because we're no longer there. That is the end of their turn. So I'm going to discard a card. I'll discard Rescue Prisoners. There's another one in my deck, and I'm nowhere near being able to play that. And now I'll draw back up to 5. Sword of Gondolin. Okay. Now we're on the right track, though I wish I hadn't gotten rid of, of Fast Asleep. Oh well. Okay, next turn. Untap phase. Everything untaps. Organization phase. I don't believe I have anything I want to play yet. See, this is a problem, having 2 characters in your hand, but no faction to use them with. I don't want to play one and then not have the faction available to me. You know what? I will try. I got rid of my Rescue Prisoners, so it doesn't make sense to do that either. Okay, those are going to stay in my hand. We're off to a great start, guys. I will not move. Now, so no cards are drawn. I still have a hazard phase, so they can play up to 2 hazards on me. There's only 1 there. Let's see what it is. Awaken Denizens. So this is a long event. It says the number of strikes for each automatic attack at a ruins and lairs is doubled, cannot be duplicated. So we'll just put that up there to remind ourselves that that is in play. Now I will enter the site, and I will enter it using Burglary. Okay, I don't have Fast Asleep anymore. I'm going to try to play the Sword of Gondolin. So tap this character, tap the site, and I will make a roll and hope that this +5 is greater than 10. Okay. It is not greater than 10, so Robin must face the automatic attacks all by himself. This could be a short game, guys. I don't have anything I can play to help him. So he is tapped We got Orcs, 4 strikes with 7 prowess. That means that he is going to receive one of those strikes, and then he's going to get -3. So his prowess goes from 1 to -2, and an additional -1 because he was tapped when he faced the attack. Oh, the side is actually tapped already. So he is at what? What did I say? -2. He's at -3, and he needs to beat a 7. And he does. No, he does not. 8 -3 is not greater than 7. 8 -3 is 5. He is wounded. Now we're going to see if he survives. We need to, his body is 9, which is pretty good. We need to roll less than 9. 6. Okay, he survives, but he is in bad shape. Okay, that is the end of our turn. You know what? I'm just going to get rid of Secret Passage. No, I am not, because I can play the Sword of Gondolin somewhere now. I'm going to get rid of Thranduil and hope that doesn't come back to bite me. Okay, end of turn. Draw a card. Trickery, fantastic. And he's still there. Now we proceed on to the next phase. The next turn. Untap step. He does not untap because he is wounded. The site, of course, does not untap. We are going to try to go to Lorien to rest up and recover. So, that is our new destination. The site path looks like it's 2 forests, through Redhorn Gate and through Wold and Foothills. And the hazard amount that we draw is 3, because when you go to a haven, it is from the site you are going from. We'll draw 1 card and 2 cards. There's my second rescue prisoners. Not ideal. Alright, he faces 2 hazards, and he is wounded, so this could be a problem. Oh, you know what? Nope, I do not have a card that can deal with that. Cave Drake. Alright. Attacker chooses defending characters. 2 wildernesses and the site path are required. We've got those 2 wildernesses. He is going to attack. I am going to not take my chances, and I will use Halfling Stealth. Cancel 1 strike against Hobbit. Again, it says 2 strikes, but only 1 strike can be applied to him. The other counts as a modifier, so we do escape him, and we do get the marshalling points for that. Okay, what is our next... Oh, and I'll put that marker on there to indicate it's been there for a turn. What is our next card here? Weariness of the Heart. Prowess is modified by -1, or he's forced to make a corruption check. So neither of those are really ideal for the hazard side of things, which is okay, because I'm already in a pretty rough spot. So prowess is modified by -1. Doesn't matter. He's not going to be attacked for the rest of the turn. Otherwise, he can make a corruption check. Well, he only has 1 point of corruption against him, and he gets +2 versus corruption. So he can't fail the roll. But let's do that. Alright, oh, look at that number. So 11 + 2, he rolled a 13. That was not less than 1. So he is not corrupted. Alright, we arrive safely in Lorien. I'm going to put this upside down under here because it is tapped. And move over to Wolden Foothills, and that is it for the turn. Now, I do need to discard a card from my hand. Oh boy. Let's just get rid of rescue prisoners. We're just not going to go after that. We're going to try to get the faction in 2 items and hope that that's good enough. Okay, Lorien, next turn. Untap. Because he is at a haven, he heals from his wounds. Organization phase. I don't know. Do I take a chance and play Bjorn just to get extra cards in my hand? Magic Ring of Stealth is not helping me. I will want to discard that at some point, I think. Because I need a ring, I need someone who can test the ring, and I need a successful roll. And it's not like I get the marshalling points for it. So, let us go. We're going to try to do the Sword of Gondolin. We're going to try to play the Sword of Gondolin. Where do we want to go for that? I don't have Fast Asleep. And I really don't want to face that attack all by myself if I don't have to. Trickery works against an orc attack. Okay, you know what? I'm going to find a Ruins and Lairs to use my secret passage on. Dancing Spire, no. Austin Edel, not close enough. Has the wrong attack. Lonely Mountain. Bandit Lair. It's gonna have to be. It's gonna have to be the Dancing Spire. But we draw 3 cards. That might put us on the right track. I'm going to go ahead and at the end of my organization phase, I will play Secret Passage. If the company that it is played on moves to a Ruins and Lairs site, which I will be doing, opponent may only play hazard creatures that are keyed to the company's site. So they can't key to Forest, can't key to Shadowhold, they can't key to Borderhold, only Ruins and Lairs and only the site version. So that is going to be quite nice. Is there anything else I want to play? I don't think so. So we'll move that there. I'll draw my 3 cards. Concealment, very nice. Halfling Strength, excellent. And Dodge. Okay. And then we'll draw their 3 cards. 2, 3. And, yep, you are trekking through a secret passage. So we'll just put you in the Withered Heath right away. And let's see what kind of attacks we get. Alright, Orc Lieutenant can be keyed to Ruins and Lairs. So 1 strike, 7 prowess. What do I want to do about that? I do not have a lot of prowess at all. I really don't want to waste concealment when I can use it against the dragon. I will use trickery here. Scout only. He is a scout against an orc, troll, man, elf, slayer, awakened plant, or giant attack. So that is an orc. Make a roll. If the result is greater than 5, the attack is cancelled. 6 is greater than 5. Good. We get the marshalling points for that because that is a very burglary thing to do. Burglar-ish. Burglar. Yeah. And we proceed on to the next one. Brigands. They cannot be played because it must be keyed due to Secret Passage, must be keyed to the Ruins and Lairs. So we'll just leave that up for the time being. And that does not count against their hazard limit. Slayer, same deal. Oh boy, that Secret Passage is really proving in handy because otherwise both of those could... Okay, Crows. So no problem here. Each character in the company faces 1 strike, 5 prowess. Nothing to it. After the attack, the defender must reveal 1 random card from his hand for each character. Who cares? I already know what's in my hand. Okay. Am I going to try to get... I'm going to use Dodge against this attack. Target character does not tap against 1 strike unless he is wounded by the strike, of course. And then if wounded, the body is modified by -1 for the body check. So, normally if you don't tap against an attack, you suffer a -3 penalty to your prowess. Dodge means I don't have to worry about that. So it's going to be 5 versus 1. I need to roll at least a 4. There it is, 9. So the attack is defeated. I do not get marshalling points for it because dodge is not a sneaky thing to do. It's just he's quick on his feet. So, alright, that takes care of the hazard step. We arrive safely through our secret passage at the Dancing Spire. And I forget which dragon is there. Is it Daleman? Leucaruth? Anyway, we've got plenty of things we can play here. Minor item, major item, a greater item, or a gold ring. There's some glare in there, so I'll just hold it up. And we are going to play our Sword of Gondolin, but we're going to try to steal it. Hopefully we do better than last time. So, burglary! Alright, I will tap my character. I will tap the site. Keep that in my hand for now. Let me make sure. Yep. If I had more than 5 cards, I would have had to discard down to 5 at the end of the hazard phase. Okay, more than 5, more than 5. 6. Alright, so 6 plus 5 is 11. We are successful. We steal the Sword of Gondolin. And we tuck that right in by Robin. And that will be the end of the turn. I can choose to discard a card if I would like. I will discard Magic Ring of Stealth, and then I will draw up to 5. Beautiful gold ring, of course. And Halfling Strength. And, of course, the fellow that I discarded was Thranduil. He's in there somewhere, and he is a Sage. So I would have been able to test that. I don't have a testing card. That's okay. I can use that ring, though, No, I discard the rescue prisoners. Anyway, we have, once we drop this off at a haven, this Sword of Gondolin, we will have completed one of our tasks, and that is to steal an item from a dragon sword. So, this turn, let's do that. Untap phase, he untaps. Organization phase, let's see. Do I have anything I want to play? I don't believe so. We will go ahead and move to Lorien, or at least attempt to. Now, we do know, and this is kind of nice about having that, we do know that we're going to have to face both the Brigands and the Slayer. 2 attacks and 2 strikes. Oof. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to handle that, but now that we are in the hazard phase, this one has lasted 2 turns. It's going to go away. So that's nice. Okay, we're going to Lorien, and we're going to run into some trouble on the way. First, some brigands try to assail us. Actually, before that happens, I forgot. Hazard draws 3 cards, and Hero draws 3 cards. Oh, Gandalf, alright. Concealment and Fast Asleep. Okay, I can't just have a gold ring. I need to steal something that's not a gold ring from an orc hideout. Okay, tap a scout, so that is actually going to mostly work, I think. That's an 8, that's an 11. Defender may tap. Okay, so the brigand is going to come first. 2 strikes, and if any strike wounds the character, the company must immediately discard 1 item. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play Concealment right away. I'm going to tap the scout to cancel that attack. Goes in the discard, goes in the marshalling points pile. But we are not out of the woods yet. We also have a Slayer, and this guy is particularly bad news. What does he say? 2 attacks of 1 strike each against the same character. Attacker chooses defending character. Well, it's going to be that guy. The defender may tap any 1 character in the company to cancel 1 of these attacks. Well, it's... that might actually work out if I have enough Halfling Strength. Okay, so let's see. Halfling Strength to untap Robin. Tap Robin to cancel 1 of the attacks. And then Halfling Strength to untap Robin again. And Concealment, tapping him to cancel the attack against his company. Oh boy. So those were both of our hazards. We have avoided them through very stealthy means. And now we proceed to Lorien. This site was tapped. It will go on the bottom. We are back in Wold and Foothills. And that will be the end of our turn. I'm going to go ahead and discard Beautiful Gold Ring and draw up to 5 cards. Test of Lore, great. And Sword of Gondolin. I guess it's not unique, so I can just steal another Sword of Gondolin, right? Alright, neat. Untap. Organization phase. I will try to store this Sword of Gondolin at Lorien. Now, that requires a corruption check, because Robin has come to like his Sword of Gondolin. So, I need to roll under a 3. He gets +2 to all his rolls. So I need to roll over a 3. So it's going to happen. 8 + 2 is 10. He successfully parts with the Sword of Gondolin. Tells a great tale about how he stole it right from under a dragon's nose, and it is now safely in the woods of Lorien. Now then, we want to go ahead and steal another Sword of Gondolin. Let's have Gandalf come along with him. We're still in the organization phase. We'll play Gandalf. His home site is any haven. Ordinarily, wizards can only be played at Rivendell or their home site, but his home site is any haven, so Lorien counts. So we will add Gandalf to Robin's company. Keep in mind, he will only be in play for 2 turns. And we will try to find a place with orc automatic attacks. Let me see, I think I only have the 2 rescue prisoners in my deck. 1, 2. So they're both gone. Okay. Where should we go? Bjorn says Mount Gundabad. There we go. We will go to Mount Gundabad. I've been pronouncing this wrong in all of my previous videos. It is not Gundabad, it is Gundabad, apparently. Gundabad, I don't know. But we will... That is such a weird picture. Like, it looks like the guy is standing on his horse, and he's so much bigger than his horse. I don't know. So this has an orc automatic attack. So we're going to raid this hold and try to find a Sword of Gondolin there. Put that down there. I draw 2 cards. 1 Wood Elves. Oh, one Thranduil is the one that I ditched. And Halfling Strength. Okay. Boy, that's looking worse and worse all the time. And then they will draw 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Fortunately, the hazard limit is still only 2 because we have 2 characters in the company. Where are we trying to get to? Gundabad, which is up there. First hazard. Lure of the Senses. Corruption. Permanent event. A character receives 2 corruption points. Target character makes a corruption check at the end of his untap phase if he is at a haven. Alright. Well, we are putting that on Robin because Gandalf is not going to be around for super long. Second hazard. Doors of Night. Okay. This is just another permanent event. All resource environment cards in play are immediately discarded, and all resource environment effects are cancelled. So it doesn't really do anything by itself right now, but it will influence other cards that come up. So, under Gandalf's wise leadership, Robin makes it to Mount Gundabad without any difficulty. Though he has a bad feeling, and he kind of wishes he was back at Lorien. Alrighty, end of that phase. We need to discard a card. I'm going to... Oh, you know what? Is Gandalf going to be around long enough to hire the Wood Elves? At the end of next turn, he's going to be 1. Nope, he'll just have enough time to get there. You know what? I'm going to make that work. He is going to go to Thranduil's Halls. That is just fine. So we're going to ditch Test of Lore, so that we're back down to 5 cards, as we should be. We have safely arrived, and we are going to try to steal a Sword of Gondolin from the orcs. So we'll play Burglary. And, fortunately for us, they are fast asleep. +3 to 1 burglary attempt. So, already from the start, he gets +2 for being a scout, +3 for being a hobbit, and now +3 for the orcs being fast asleep. That's +8 to this roll. I need to get more than 10. There it is. 6 + 8, 14. Tap the scout, tap the sight, play the Sword of Gondolin. Alright. So that was an excellent turn. Burglary goes back. And we will proceed to the end of the turn. Do I have anything I want to discard? I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to draw 1, 2 cards to get back up to 5. Orcrist. Ooh, that's a nice one. Okay. Obvious plan for this coming turn. Do I have enough? Can I escape whatever might try to assail me? I think so, if they split up. So Gandalf is going to untap phase, sorry, new turn. Sort of skipping ahead here. Gandalf is going to form his own company. He tells Robin, here is where I must leave you. Kind of like in The Hobbit, right? Where Gandalf just says, hey, got some necromancer I need to go deal with. And they're actually going to similar places, right? Thranduil's Halls, which is in probably one of these places, Mirkwood, and Dol Guldur is in southern Mirkwood. That is an aside. So Gandalf is going to go to Thranduil's Halls, and we will actually do his turn first. Okay. So, I'll actually put him up here. He's going to try to get there. The sight path. Can I do this? Bear with me. Alright, so he needs to get to the Woodland Realm. Actually, that's right over there. That's not bad at all. So Gandalf is going to move through a dark hold, through a border hold, and through another border hold. Okay, and we will also put this token on him to indicate that he's been around for 1 turn. All right, the hazard limit is 2 against him. So we will draw our 2 cards because that's what that says. Halfling Stealth, very nice. Bjornings, excellent. Unfortunately, I'm already past my organization phase, and I'm not sure that I'll have time to play that, but we'll draw our 2 cards. Okay, first up, Gandalf. Who attacks you? Oh, Lost in the Wilderness. Playable on a company that is moving this turn. It's got to be this guy. You may play 1 additional hazard on target company for each wilderness in its sight path. There are none. Ha! There's the Shadow Hold, or the Dark Hold, the Border Hold, and the Border Hold. So no woods. And ignore that woods icon in Thranduil's Halls. That's if you're moving from Lorien, which we are not. Nice. All right, Gandalf. What's next? Weariness of the Heart. So no creatures. Prowess is modified by -1 or make a corruption check. Neither of them really matter. We'll say its prowess is modified by -1. Okay. And he arrives safely in Thranduil's Halls. Now, he will attempt to influence the Wood Elves faction. So, he will enter the site. There's no automatic attack, so we don't need to worry about that. And he will attempt to say, hey, Wood Elves, I need some information on you guys. So playable there if the influence check is greater than 8. Men -1, elves +1, dwarves -2, but he is none of those. He is a wizard. Now, I believe you get to add his unused direct influence, which in this case is 10. So I'm probably going to influence them. Yep, 7 plus 10 is 17. He easily finds the information he needs. And that seems a little too good to me, but, I mean, wizards are powerful characters, so if someone is watching this and says, hey, CCG Collector, you're doing that wrong, please let me know. In the comments, of course. Alright, site is tapped, Gandalf is tapped. Oh, yes, that's okay, that's okay. And then Robin is going to go to Lorien on his turn. Wait, end of that hazard phase. I need to discard a card. Let's get rid of Orcrist. I don't think that's going to help me too much anymore. Robin is going to go to Lorien. So he is going to go through that sight path, and he has 2 against him. I will draw my 2 cards. Torque of Hues and Beautiful Gold Ring. And he will get 2 hazards against him. 1, ghouls. They absolutely can attack him, and they will key to whatever they want to key to. I guess the region, whatever, doesn't matter. 5 strikes. So 7 prowess, 5 strikes, so he's going to get -4 at least. But he is stealthy, so we'll play Hobbit Stealth. And that counts as marshalling points for us. Then we will play our second one. And what is it? Orc Patrol. They can also be played orcs, 3 strikes. That's not too bad. But we'll go ahead and just use Concealment, tap him to cancel an attack against his company. Alrighty. And we arrive safely in Lorien. This is tapped, so it goes underneath. I don't think I'm going to... Nope, I am not going to have enough time here. Ugh. So we arrive safely in Lorien, and that has not triggered yet. That's all there. We are in Wolden Foothills. That, unfortunately, is the end of... Wait, is the end of the turn? No, we're good, we're good, we're good, because I don't need to... I have enough cards in my hand, I don't need to draw up. So that is fantastic. Then, next turn begins. Untap. Store the Sword of Gondolin. Actually, makes a corruption check at the end of his untap step if he is at a haven. So I do have to make that corruption check. You know what? It's going to be the same either way. I'm going to play Halfling Strength right now to get +4 to his corruption check. So he's +6. Roll it, whatever he makes it. 11 versus 5. So he is not lured by his senses. Now, organization phase, he's going to try to drop off the Sword of Gondolin. And that is going to cost him a similar roll. 4 plus 2 is 6. 5 corruption points, that is more. He successfully deposits the Sword of Gondolin in Lorien. Okay. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to run out of time to get the information back to Lorien, because what's going to happen is Gandalf is going to go away at the end of this organization phase. Yes, the elf faction is going to transfer automatically to Robin as a result due to the scenario rules, but the organization phase will have ended, so I won't get that in there. I do need to try to survive, though. So Gandalf poofs, and he goes away. Robin gets the information. Unfortunately, he will not have had time to tell anyone about it before his time is up. This goes away as well. Robin will not... You know what? If he's going to have the 2 hazards against him anyway, he might as well... Well, no, there's no sight path, so I don't think any hazards can be played on him, because he's not moving. And what exactly is going to key to a haven? So we'll try it. Awaken minions, that does take effect, doesn't matter. Orc warriors cannot attack him from where he is. Okay. End of that phase. We draw up to 5 cards in our hand. End of the turn. Our deck is empty. All we have are the cards that we stored for our marshalling points. So that's the end of the scenario. Let's see how we did. So Robin did, in fact, complete 2 of his missions. He stole from a dragon, a Sword of Gondolin, and he stole from some orcs, another Sword of Gondolin. Unfortunately, his agents were not quick enough to get any information on other factions, and he did not run into any prisoners to rescue. But let's see how many marshalling points he got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And he completed 2 tasks, so let's see what our victory is. Okay, unfortunately, we only qualify for completing 2 of the tasks and accumulating at least 10 marshalling points. So we win, but Robin is only hired to accompany the employers on a deed of minor import. He did not complete enough tasks in time. If Gandalf had made it back with that information 1 turn sooner, he would have been employed on a matter of some urgency. It was not meant to be. So that is our solo scenario. That is Burglar Wants a Good Job. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was fun to watch. And yeah, I'll try to do more of these because it's fun for me to play. So I'm the CCG Collector. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.